Hi, I'm Attorney Melissa Davies, and I work here at Ruane Attorneys. So I grew up in Puerto Rico, within the San Juan area, the metropolitan area, but I also lived in Florida. My father married my mother, who's Puerto Rican. So I basically had somebody speaking English and somebody speaking Spanish at the house at all times. For a long time, I thought it was actually one language. Took me a while to realize it was two. Once high school was completed, then I went to college. Went to George Washington University first, but I transferred to University of Miami because I did not love the cold at that time. I always knew that I wanted to be a lawyer since I was very, very young. But I knew that there were multiple avenues to get there, and I thought that I would have some fun along the way. So I decided to explore things that I also had an interest in, or that having a law degree could also help me excel in. And I was very interested in politics. But I just realized that I didn't want it to be my job. And so then I decided to pursue something else that I love, which is business. So I transferred to University of Miami to the business school specifically. And then there I studied business law, because it's one of the few universities who has that as a major. So that's my actual major, is business law. So I went to Syracuse University College of Law. And I was there for 3 years, and I didn't want to stay in Syracuse. I was dating my now husband, and he was in medical school, and he was applying to medical residencies, so he got into one at UConn here for surgery. So when I was already barred in New York. I had already been working in New York, but then I had to look for a job and get barred here. So I found this ad basically, and they were looking for a habeas attorney. And it sounded very interesting, and I just decided to apply, and then I got the job. I got barred. It all happened immediately basically, and I've been doing habeas corpus since. I have been working for Ruane for over 10 years now. When I first started working at Ruane, I did a little bit of everything. I did criminal defense, I did civil litigation. Obviously I did habeas, so post-conviction work. But with time, then I started honing in more on habeas, and I now solely do habeas corpus. I think a lot of my job is just digging through things. You're looking for the needle in the haystack, but you don't exactly know that it's a needle. You're looking for something in a haystack, but you don't know what you're looking for. It's not knowing. Habeas is challenging because you don't know what you're looking for. You're looking for a mistake, but you don't know which type of mistake. Sure, your client comes to you with, the usual, which would be saying that, they're being held illegally, and they may have an inkling of what went wrong, but sometimes all they tell you is, I didn't do this, and I am not sure how I'm in jail. And you just have to start looking. And sometimes we get a lot of the Innocence Project ones, and you look at these cases and you're looking at it and something's wrong. You know something's wrong, but it's not easy in that it's already, if it were easy, then we wouldn't have the habeas attorneys, right? If it were already pinpointed what went wrong, then we wouldn't have people like me doing this. And then I'm also very interested in forensics. Habeas doesn't actually just get you off. Habeas gets you a new trial. You only get to walk out if there were no forensics and the forensics now show that it's absolutely not you. And for that to happen, it would have to be very, very, the forensics would have to be very specific. Sometimes when I bring in forensics, it's not necessarily to get my client off, it's to get them in a trial. I always wanted to give a voice to those who don't have one. I think I was always the person standing up for somebody else, and it's just the way that I am. When some sort of injustice was going on, even at a playground, for example, I was the one that would say, well, this is not right, and I would stand up for the person. And I think that just continued on, ensuring that everybody is playing by the rules. So yes, I am definitely in it for my clients. I always tell them, I don't care if you did it. I want to make sure that if you're in here, that you should be in here, because you deserve your fair day in court, not just a day in court. You deserve the fair one, where everything was done by the book.